Okay, so I noticed your video, and yes, the argument of which came first, the chicken or the egg, does have the one flaw of the chicken could have evolved from something else. So to address that argument, I do believe that microevolution is possible. Microevolution being the small trait that was a mutant gene in something, making it survive and thus thrive in the environment. For instance, a white bird all of a sudden, giving birth to a brown bird, and the brown bird being able to cloak itself in the environment easier, survives, thrives, and outlives the other birds. Um, that is microevolution. Microevolution, I don't refute at all. However, macroevolution is where I have a problem. And the reason I have a problem with it is because eventually you reach a point, which I'll get to, which is the point where you have non-life becoming life. So, we'll take humans, and there's multiple ways of going about this. Some people will say they evolved from Cro-Magnon man, but then you go, where does the Cro-Magnon man come from? Eventually he's got to come from somewhere else. Some people will say, okay, well, the Cro-Magnon man came from an ape. So if we go from the ape, okay, well, where did the ape come from? Well, eventually you get down further and further. So I'm going to go with the Discovery Channel video. I'd love to post the video in here too, but I'm doing this from my webcam. But basically, the video goes as such, which is that in reverse, if you have man evolves from a man-like ape, and then the man-like ape evolves from an ape. Ape evolves from a mammal of some kind. I was not able to identify it, and the term for it I've forgotten. And that evolves from another type of mammal, which evolved from a dinosaur, which evolved from a smaller dinosaur, which evolved from a lizard, which evolved from an amphibian, and the amphibian evolved from some kind of lizard-like or amphibian-like fish, which evolved from a fish, which evolved from a smaller fish, and eventually you get down till you got your one-celled organism. Well, no matter how you go about it, eventually, you've got to have man come from something, and you're going to reach the one-celled organism. So whether it's by chimp, by Sasquatch, or by flying spaghetti monster somehow evolves into man, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that once you reach that one-celled organism, it had to gain life from something else. Being the one-celled organism, it's as pretty much as basic as you can. And the problem is when you look at evolution's view on that, you've got only so many possibilities. And if you were to take a test tube and fill it with a liquid, such as water, give it all the amount of proteins and the alkalinity and salinity it needs inside of the water, everything that would sustain life for this one-celled organism, and then I were to take a one-celled organism and put it in that test tube, well, probably not like that, I might kill it, but put a one-celled organism in the test tube, and if you pierce it, all of the pieces of it will come out. Well, the problem is that even with all of the pieces of that one-celled organism, everything it takes to make a living creature, and all of the environment that it takes for it to live in, with all of that together, scientists still can't recreate an event that will make it become a new creature or a new one-celled organism. And frankly, I don't believe that nature could either, because no matter how many times you hit this little test tube with lightning or whatever you want to do with it, plasma, however you want to go about this, no matter what you do, you can't make it come into life. And so the problem is how does non-life become life? And so, yeah, chicken or the egg was a very bad example, but it is a great starter. And the starter is, of course, that, eventually you go down the who made who, and you come to the one-celled organism that had to evolve from rocks and minerals and other, proteins and little, chemicals in this vast expanse of nothing. And so, well, not nothing, it's more of a vast expanse of everything, I guess. But when you have that, you have to find some way for that to happen, and unfortunately you can't do it. Or at least scientists have not been able to do it yet, and frankly I don't believe they will. But as it sits, if you can't make non-life become life, you can't have this evolution theory because, and the other thing is we're missing links, and so you have to have all these links that go up to man. Granted, we do have some human-like ape ones, so we've got Cro-Magnon man, which evolves into man, but not anywhere further behind. You're missing the missing link. That's the name. So, anyways, I'll cut off my video here. I'd love to hear your response to this. So please respond or reply, and give me your insight as to why you believe that evolution could stand that theory.